Hello and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Mod MattHe, the podcast monkey, and I'm here today to talk about the Gower Quest with some of our erstwhile J-mods. Starting with...
Mod Moltare.
Mod Mohawk.
And Mod Shauny.
And the Gower Quest has been a massive success.
Someone told me they didn't like it yesterday.
Who? I'll go and slap them.
I don't know. They were wrong.
It really has gone down extremely well. It is possibly the most positively received quest I've seen in my 3-something years here. Really gone down well. Well loved.
It was filled with joy.
Filled with joy, you say?
By its developers and for the players.
Joy?
Yeah.
Joy. Yes.
Joy and silliness. Feeding off each other.
What you're hearing there is the sound of a developer, ladies and gentlemen.
That's about right.
It was all good once it was live, but it's like the process.
It's the wrestling process of getting it out.
Yeah, just sitting in a corner rocking.
And Mod Moltare constantly writing jokes and puns that make us cry.
Yes. Yeah. I've had enough of your puns now.
Probably making
You will
localization.
never have had enough of my puns.
Probably making localization cry more than most, I feel.
Oh God, you should have seen Localization's face when they saw some of the puns. They were practically crying.
Particularly when we put in jokes that were about how localization weren't allowed to translate certain things, and therefore they weren't allowed to translate those jokes, so they had to come up with their own jokes to put in instead.
Oh, is that the strawberry jam joke?
There was the Marmelada for Keller gag, and the one about Captain Haskell reeking of sugary soda pop if you're playing in Portuguese.
Wow.
Okay, so we've got a load of questions from players, so I'm going to be rustling sheets of paper around as I dig them out.
Excellent.
But we're going to start with Satanist Penguin. Yes, that is their RSN. Who asks, what would you say is your favourite joke in the quest?
I've got to go with putting in the unrequited shipping of Captain Haskell and Challenge Mistress Farah. It's a match made in heaven, and I'm going to push for it to become canon.
Oh, God.
Favourite joke?
I don't have
Mod
one.
Mohawk?
There's so many. Like, Moltare and Mod Jack, they did like such an awesome job writing the dialogue. I was just sitting there after work one day, just reading it all and just lolling the entire way through. It's hilarious.
So I sit next to Mod Shauny, and I listened to him do the playthrough of the Gower Quest, and I'm sure he reached pitches that can only be heard by cats. It was just giggling, getting higher and higher as you struggled to breathe, Mod Shauny.
Yeah, the laughs got louder because then Moltare noticed and heard it and then came over and basically sat next to me and as I played through it and got laughs out of it. For me, it was when you first speak to Max and he tells you how he managed to reach invention very quickly, and then you tell him but you didn't, and then he essentially has a little tear by his eye because you're right and he's wrong, and then he tries to recompose himself. And I don't know, because obviously Emergent just came out and Max took so long to get that Max cape. I don't know, I felt like it worked beautifully.
Okay, Urjolf wants to know what names were considered besides the Gower Quest, because it's a really straightforward name and it means a lot to players who know the Gowers, but not so much perhaps for some others. Why do we choose that name instead of something more prosaic or punny?
Because it starts on the Gower farm, and the Gower brothers give you the quest and help win the quest. It's mostly about the Gowers, so it's a Gower quest about the Gowers.
Yeah, it's never had any other name from the beginning. It was the working title and everything.
And so it's just carried through.
Yeah.
It is the Gower Quest.
Exactly.
It is the quest about the Gowers, featuring the Gower brothers, that the Gower brothers helped us write.
Yeah.
So it's the Gower Quest.
It seems to make sense.
It does. It's shockingly, it's probably the thing in the quest that makes the most sense.
I don't know. Cabbages being the product of otherworldly behind-the-scenes magic seems sensible enough to me. Clearly not natural.
Or putting two oranges together to then make it say now kiss. Clearly natural.
Logical.
That's unnatural, but unnatural in the best possible way.
Sir Eosley wants to know how long is it until bank standing and riding skill are go live in game?
Never. Everybody has 99s. You're not allowed them. That's just too easy.
But 120s?
I have been asked to allow you to go back and bank stand, ride and sail your way to 200 mil.
Wow.
Unfortunately, all of the tracking variables only go up to 13 million. So I'd have to put in an entirely new set of post-quest tracking variables for those.
Dear God, don't not
That
ride
sounds
in.
like he just volunteered.
You've just basically said you're going to do that now, by the sounds of it. The riding one terrifies me, I won't lie. The most gift thing out of that entire quest, naturally, of course, were people positioning their cameras in such a way that when they did the riding section, it would obviously misconstrue these images and make it look like it was doing something else.
Funnily enough, lots of people have asked me for that as a resting
That
animation.
doesn't surprise me.
Unfortunately, we can't give them that.
Good.
So riding to 200 mil will have to be the next best thing.
Oh, and a common question on the forums and on Reddit, I believe, was when we're going to get skill capes for them now they've all got their 99s. My answer was we'd spend years arguing about what colours the skill capes were going to be.
Yes, that is true. They're always going to be white and gold or black and blue, and you're never going to be able to make up your mind. They can have their skill capes when the skills are actually released, because at the moment, obviously, they're in beta.
They're in beta and, not coming out of it, hopefully.
Nicely done.
That was very good. Well played.
A Bandosian, a loyal Bandosian apparently, they say, asks, why did most characters get an alive version of themselves and Bandos is just a pile of rocks in a corner? Apparently it made them cry.
I'm going to be terribly prosaic and say it's because the throne wouldn't fit. We didn't have enough space. We had just about enough space to squeeze his head into the corner and let him hum happily to himself.
I think he just wanted to be a head. He wanted to be a pile of rubble. That's his natural form. God damn it! Like, don't judge him.
Just because he's a pile of rubble.
Exactly.
And it gave an excuse for Moltare to use the "Where's your head at" line. So
That wasn't me.
who was that?
That was Jack.
Okay, Jack. Either one.
I would have probably gone with something about he looks like he's spent the whole time getting smashed.
Oh. So Stretch 1028 says, why did Brassica Prime not make an appearance? I mean, it's a cabbage quest. Why no Brassica Prime?
He was busy elsewhere, saving the world from a different Brassica-related problem. The broccoli was rioting.
Yes. That.
The broccoli was rioting.
Sure. Next
they don't
question,
wear-
Does
please.
broccoli riot a lot?
They don't wear party hats, you see, so they have to have other things to write about. So they were writing about the end of the world, and Brassica Prime had to go and save the world from the rioting broccoli.
Were they on any particular world?
312, I think.
Okay. These are important things to know.
Yeah. Backstory.
It's
Good.
okay, Shauny, we don't have 312 servers.
Mod Shauny is sitting next to me and almost crying. It is quite amusing in and of itself. I wish I had a camera here just to show you Mod Shauny crying.
Thanks.
Bonzara wanted to know, why didn't Bob the cat make an appearance?
We lost him.
We lost
Dark.
the cat.
Yes. He wanders. Like, we lost him. He wouldn't stay in the same place for any period of time.
Oh, so you did see him in the quest, but then he walked off and decided he wanted to do something else.
Yeah. So if you didn't see him, I'm sorry, he wandered off.
He just wandered off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosaically, I think he's not dead, removed, or reworked content, so we couldn't really put him in the bar.
Was he removed from random events, though, technically?
Well, all the random events were removed, so if you wanted to put all of the random events in, like,
I wish we did.
we did have the
really.
evil twins wandering around when we were building the bar area, and they still had all of their "you can't do this because you're not standing by the crane" chat on them, which didn't make any sense.
Wait, none of it ever made sense. So why was that a problem?
No, it makes sense. It entirely makes sense.
Okay.
It's all internally consistent,
Okay.
ish.
We'll get to the question of how much it is canon in a bit. Bonzara also asked, was Meg's Brassica Crime case intended as a teaser for the Gower Quest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, are we going with it?
We didn't build it. That was a different.
We're going to say yes and hope for the best.
That was a
Just run
different
with
game.
it.
We're going to claim yes.
But yes, I think that was the idea.
And why wasn't Juliet in behind the scenes? And why is she broken up with Romeo? And will we ever see her again?
Have you spoken to Romeo? He is...
You can't use the word you said earlier.
No. He is not entirely desirable as a boyfriend.
He knows all the best.
Are you understating it slightly?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, so where is Juliet? Is she dead?
Yeah, Romeo killed her.
Romeo killed her.
Yeah, he got fed up of the fact that she didn't like all of his stupid chat up lines, so he killed her. So yeah, she's never coming back, sorry.
Well, There is the acid room in the
Yeah.
prototype chambers.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
This got dark really quickly. Move on.
So, Aquamancer asks, what is the untranslated cabbage language based on?
Making it up. I mean, in all fairness, you can be easily forgiven for asking that question since Armadillion is a proper constructed language that has grammar and vocabulary and everything, and so is Gnomish. But cabbage language we sort of made up and made sure that we used the same made-up words for the same things if we mention them again later on.
So, will you be publishing a dictionary then?
I don't think there's need. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, people are fluent by now. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Okay. And Avenancy says they love the behind-the-scenes bars and seeing what many of the characters in the game are like outside of their jobs, in inverted commas. Like how Guthix is an annoyed thespian, or how the 5 God Wars dungeon generals are all drinking buddies. Are there any chances of expanding on this?
Up to the point where you can't fit any more NPCs on a map square?
Right.
There are no immediate plans to put more people in, as far as I'm aware, but there's no reason, again, up to a point, that someone couldn't come along later and say, well, this person's been graphically reworked, we'll stick their old model in here and give them sarcastic commentary about how much they hate being graphically reworked.
No.
Or old Scabbard saying it's about time.
No, they're not allowed.
No?
No, it's done.
Okay, I've been shut down.
It's over and done.
Mod
Ignore me.
Mohawk says no. And when Mod Mohawk says no, we all should say no.
Got the power.
Say no with Mohawk.
Szorba says, why is there no way to interact with the Raxor in behind the scenes?
I'm afraid this one's also terribly prosaic. You could before, and then when people were told that they needed to go and talk to the spider to progress the quest, they went to the wrong spider and got terribly confused, so I took the ops off of him. So you can't click on him anymore.
MattHe asks, was null ever considered for the quest?
We have a variety of interesting nulls, some of them in places that you wouldn't expect in a code base, but...
Yeah, we have different types of nulls. Like 4 different type of null.
We had the unfinished creature, which is sort of along those lines, but I'm not aware of a character called null, which might be my failing as a designer, just not familiar with the thing.
I don't think we'd call it null anyway. We'd call it PH for placeholder. If anything.
That's true.
Leith Intent wants to know, could the life alter be used in a more serious content in the future?
Technically, yes.
No.
Designers say yes, developers say no.
Yeah, no.
This is a common experience.
technically
This is the
impossible.
history of RuneScape.
Technically impossible.
Yeah, technically possible.
That's the best excuse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I cannot make this content. It is technically impossible.
Okay.
Meridium asks, was the Black Knight always the villain? Or did the idea of him being graphically updated with the quest come later? So I think Mod Mohawk has an opinion on this.
So yeah, originally we were just going to have an extra room off the bar, which was basically a graphical rework room. So they'd be on this conveyor belt and the really poor models would go in one side and then they'd go through this big machine and then come out the other side graphically reworked. So we were going to have the Black Knight Titan in there. But I think at some point we were struggling to find a big boss to kill at the end. So we kind of just stole the Black Knight Titan from that idea, dropped that bit, and then just had him as the final boss instead.
I think it works really well as the final boss.
It's good. It's funny. I like it.
Yes. Donkey asks, was there ever a concern that a lot of the quests might go over the head of free-to-play or new players?
Yes.
Because obviously it's a very, very referential quest. It talks about lots of other bits of the game.
We were quite concerned about that. And so we went to the business intelligence, the analytics team.
There is intelligence in our business.
There is some intelligence in our business. They have a role all to themselves. We asked them to find us a sweet spot of quest point requirements that meant that free-to-play players could get that many, and everyone would have some idea of what's going on in RuneScape as a result of having played through at least that many quests, but without making it so that lots of people couldn't play the quest at all. And they came up with the figure of, I think it's 34 quest points that we went with in the end.
So Bemono4 says, was putting sailing in the beta skills room a jab at the OSRS team?
No, we don't take jabs at the OSRS team. They're both good games. We like that people play either of them or both of them.
Yeah.
And frankly, we'll leave that to the Reddit subcommunity.
I will also mention that there is a bank preset called Sailing as well. So this isn't the first time we've kind of inadvertently mocked ourselves, I guess, in that sense.
That was part of April Fool's a little while
exactly.
ago when Mod Easty put in an entire skill advance guide.
Yeah. And it's been a running joke. People turn up to RuneFest with sailing capes. It is a running joke about adding sailing to the game.
Yeah.
And to be fair, with the random islands, we nearly had rowing, even if it wasn't sailing.
I'm terrified someone's going to show up with a riding cape at RuneFest.
Oh, no, I'm not. People on toy unicorns.
If they've brought their own rocking unicorn, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I will congratulate them and shake them by the hand if they do this.
Oh, and the boat. Somebody needs to come with the boat.
Oh, the boat.
I've got a question about the boat. I don't know who asked it, but one of the questions was, can we have the boat in-game, please? Lots of people wanted the boat in-game.
Potentially?
So it's a main hand weapon override.
Yeah, it would work. In fact, it uses the same animations as the Terror Bird mount.
Yeah.
So it would work in
So-
exactly the same way.
And you wouldn't be able to use it to attack people, obviously.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can use the Terror Bird mount or the pogo stick, I suppose. We could make it possible to use the boat.
Oh.
I'm
Mod
excited.
Mohawk is getting excited now.
Yeah.
Are you
You
going to
can
make that
implement
happen,
that
Mod Mohawk?
Maybe.
You make that happen.
Maybe.
Tap time.
But surely the boat needs to be on water, whereas the pogo stick or the terror bird
No.
needs to be.
Don't
No.
be silly.
No, sorry.
No.
Be silly.
What was I thinking?
Land sailing. Watch out for land sharks.
People wearing the outfit, though.
Very dangerous. Yeah, people in the Shark Fury outfits.
Chasing down the boats.
I want to see this.
I
my
will.
God.
I will make this happen. If it goes in game, I will do an event dedicated.
We'll do
to
an
this.
event based around sharks and boats, clearly.
Make it
Well,
happen.
Sailing will be terrified.
We won't tell him. We'll just
Just
tell him.
invite him and
Yeah.
just everybody's there in shark outfits.
Everyone
no.
needs to be less mean about Mod Sailing and his shark phobia.
Mod Liam bought him a he adopted some great white sharks
Mod Raven.
for oh, is it Raven?
Mod
Oh, yeah, it was
Raven and Mod Liam adopted a Carcharodon carcharius, great white shark, in Mod
For
Sailing's
Rick.
name.
And he got sent a little bumper pack with loads of shark pictures and
God.
everything. And,
Poor Mod Sailing.
We had to open it for him.
He took it with grace.
Right, and so I'll move on quickly now. Cabbage Dye wonders, will we be seeing more cabbage in future quests? Cabbages are clearly fundamental to the nature.
But
of
the guy's
game.
name. Sorry, the guy's name's Cabbage Dye.
His Cabbage Dye, D-Y-E.
confused me then.
D-Y-E.
Because I was like, is he about to
Cabbage
ask what Cabbage
Dye
Dye?
would like to know, are we adding more cabbages to future quests? Are we recognising the importance of cabbage in general?
If you put the Braska perk on one of your weapons, you can have all the cabbages in the quest you want.
That is true.
That is true.
Do that.
Yeah,
Do that.
That's probably the best approach. If we make another really silly quest in the future, cabbages might feature. They probably don't fit quite so well into Slitscape-based quests and the like. I may be wrong, judging by that response.
Shoehorn them in.
Yeah, we could certainly shoehorn them in.
We've never shoehorned any references in before.
No.
No, never. Okay, so Aquamancer, getting to the last questions now. Aquamancer says, if you would have had time, what content would you like to have added to the quest? So what bits did we not add?
So there was this one idea where you'd basically have just this big room, which was another room off the bar, and there'd be like, I don't know, loads of tiny imps or something in there. And there'd just be holes in the ceiling, and they'd push the cabbages up through the holes, and that's how the cabbages spawned on the ground world. And I missed that. I want it.
So you want cabbage imps?
Cabbage imps, yes. Spawning cabbages. It's all good. Yeah. This is how the inner workings of cabbages work.
I came too late to the party to sort of decide what went in.
Right.
I was just there to polish and tweak and dialogue things. So always more dialogue, always more bad puns, always more making localization cry.
Yes. Yeah, because knowing Mod Moltare, he could have just kept going on puns forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't quite a lot cut out as well. Didn't the dialogue get trimmed quite heavily at some point?
We trimmed quite a lot of the dialogue off of the main path into side options, so that if you're just blasting through the quest holding down spacebar, you don't deserve the funny jokes. So we put them in sort of option 2, option 3, option 4 of people's chat, and just let you hold down spacebar and get your glorious, glorious rewards if you're that sort of player.
There was also QBD dialogue, or meant to be, wasn't there?
Yes, the QBD was poking her head through one of the big portals, but it didn't work with the way the bar was built.
No.
So we had to take her back out again.
Oh.
The gag there was that she couldn't get to the bar to order a drink because only her head could fit through the portal. She needed someone to go and buy a round for her.
Okay, so the last question, and possibly one of the most asked questions in relation to quests, which bits of the quest are canon?
Whichever bits we decide we want to be canon over the course of the next 15 years, I suppose. We'll take the extended universe approach, expanded universe, whichever thing it was before they destroyed it and then immediately started building it again. It's entirely a matter of our own plot-driven convenience in future.
And in reference to this podcast, how much of what we've said in this podcast is true?
Oh, all of our answers have been completely accurate, except for the ones that aren't.
And with that, we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.